this and you'll get that. Sound familiar? Well, it's the basic way we raise our children today, according to Alfie Kohn. Alfie, the author of Punished by Rewards, has ardently spoken out against rewarding our children. Today, Dr. Dan Lumpkin sits down with Alfie and discusses why rewards-based mentality is harming our kids.
Thank you, John. I'm sitting here today with Alfie Kohn, author of Punished by Rewards, a groundbreaking new book on how we educate our children. Alfie, how are you doing today, sir?
No, I'm doing fine. How are you?
Nice to be here today. So, Alfie, in your opinion, what is the trouble with rewards?
Well, first, let's define the term. Reward is more than something just given for being nice.
Okay.
It's something given for obtaining compliance from somebody for doing something good for you. For instance, if I gave you a banana, that's not necessarily a reward. But if I gave you a banana for helping me clean the garage, that's a reward. And that's the problem. We're taking the children, our children and our students in wrong directions. And so that's what we really need to address. Why not to give rewards?
Could you maybe elaborate a little more on that point, Mr. Kohn?
I have no objection to taking a kid to ice cream, but I have a serious objection to taking a kid to ice cream if they're good all week. That's probably a really good example for you.
So what exactly are your objections to rewards?
More than 70 studies have shown that the more you reward someone for doing something, the less they are engaged in actually doing that act, and the more they are engaged in just receiving a reward for doing something that they should be doing anyways.
Well, I'm sure that most parents would argue that rewards do work.
Yes. Well, rewards do work, but at a great cost. They only work in the short term. It's giving a punishment or a reward for something actually just gets compliance for that moment only. It doesn't give long-term compliance. And many studies have shown that children who are punished and rewarded in cycles usually are able to keep on task for a brief period of time, but they aren't able to look at the long-term effects of what they're doing and continue on with a project for the sake of it being done.
So what you're saying is that kids will lose interest in what they're doing because they're more focused on rewards, correct?
Yes, that is correct.
So you're telling me that without a goodie or a reward, that a child will feel less compelled to continue helping or doing a task at hand?
Correct. When there is no goodie offered, or the child knows there's no more possibility of there being a reward, the notion of helping leaves. And we fail to authenticate the behavior in the way we should in making a child a compassionate and caring person so that they will do these tasks ordinarily without a reward for the good of everything.
What do you mean by authentically supporting our kids?
Authentically supporting our kids is actually teaching them to do the right thing at the right time, and knowing that when they're tasked to do something, it's not it could be a mundane task, but the task itself has to be done. It's something that needs to be accomplished for the greater good of the family or the community or whatever group you have.
Could you elaborate a little more on that point?
Well, for example, if you give the child their own ability to come up with solutions for getting out of the door on time in the morning to catch the school bus, or to figure out strategies for solving problems, then they are more likely to carry these on and feel the esteemic value in doing the task and knowing they can do the task themselves, rather than us tasking our children to do things and teaching them or treating them like pets or animals. We want them to know that they have a say in their own worlds and they can create options for themselves.
So if rewards don't work, then why, in your opinion, are they so popular?
Well, rewards buy temporary compliance. A lot of people who say no rewards, well, what's the alternative? Are asking for another gimmick to get obedience in the short run. If you try to offer a deeper, more challenging strategy that involves bringing the child into decision making, that they could say that's not realistic. Many of these parents and teachers think that there's an alternative to rewards is a more democratic family or classroom. This is profoundly really threatening to people who need to have others do exactly what they are told.
Well, that's what we want to get at, Mr. Kohn. What exactly is the alternative to rewards?
Ultimately, we have to look hard at the assumptions that if we are not in control of children, then there will be chaos. And children will do evil things. We also have to recognize that if the alternative to control is not a hands-off, permissive approach, it is an approach to problem solving that supports kids' capacity to make responsible decisions, one that offers them guidance and help. The alternative is to do nothing.
If rewards are out, then what should we do if our kids refuse to cooperate? For example, when I was growing up in school, I had friends that would get $100 for every A they brought home. So if we take rewards completely out of the picture, how do we keep these kids motivated to continue to excel and get good grades?
I think if we look at the deeper reasons why the child is not interested, in many cases involving school, the trouble lies not with the child's motivation, but with the task and the way it's being taught. That's why I spend a lot of time working with educators to rethink what they're teaching and how they're teaching it.
Now, can you give me a specific example of exactly what you're talking about right here?
Asking a child to memorize the Dewey Decimal System or to work on numbers on dittos, you better have some bribe available, because there's no reason any member of our species should find that kind of task worthwhile or engaging. Skills and intellectual explorations nested in the tasks we ask kids to perform must be connected to their own questions and interests. Many schools don't do this, so when they have to manipulate kids with grades, stickers, and the like, it's a reflection of the problem with their teaching strategy, and parents should know this.
Are you saying it's easier to use rewards than to figure out what actually motivates kids?
No question about it. And exactly the same is true of how parents reward and punish kids for their behavior at home. A lot of my work turns on the distinction between doing things to kids and working with kids. The only way to help kids become generous, responsible people and lifelong learners is to work with them to solve problems and make decisions. But that takes time. It also takes care, skill, and in some cases, courage, because we have to reconsider the validity of our requests. We need to begin by thinking hard about what we are asking kids to do, who benefits from our requests, and is there another way?
Yeah, I see what you're saying there. Now, I've always thought of rewards as a positive alternative to punishment, but you seem to put them in the exact same category.
A lot of us have been led to believe that we have to choose between this kind and that kind of punishment. We've narrowed the debate down to, do I spank the kid or do I forcibly isolate him? Do I think a timeout is better than spanking a kid? Well, sure. Spanking a kid is also better than shooting a kid, but that's not much of an argument for spanking. Now, some people move a little bit beyond this and say the choice is between punishments and rewards. And from my perspective, that's not much of an improvement. They're just two different ways of doing things to children, of controlling them, of acting in a way that is manipulative and disrespectful. The real choice is between doing to and working with. It is clear to me that rewards, including praise as is normally used, belong on the wrong side of the ledger. We need to move beyond them if we are concerned about what kind of people our kids are growing up to be.
Alfie, pleasure talking to you today, sir.
Some more. Well, thank you, Dan. And just remember, rewards aren't as important as forming better, compassionate, and respectful citizens for the future.
Thank you very much once again for your time, Alfie. I really enjoyed talking to you today.
You're welcome.
And I hope our viewers out there have enjoyed this state-of-the-art interview. Catch us again next week where we interview B.F. Skinner. Same time, same channel. Deal with it.
More than 70 studies have shown that the more you reward someone for doing something, it's rewards by temporary compliance.
And you're reading it, you can't even get it right.
Yeah. Rewards by temporary compliance. So they seem to work. And when things start to go wrong and they don't work, it's because of the rewards. Another reason is because rewards are familiar. It's what we're used.
Hit it again.
Hit what again?
How's that?
How's that?
It's just an instrument of control.
Don't you understand? This is profoundly threatening to people who need others to do what they are told. Let me do that again.
Clap his hands.
It's very monkey-like. Here we go. Many of these parents and teachers think that there's an alternative to rewards. Let me go for many. Not that offers them guidance and help. Ooh. Okay, I'm gonna take it from. Ready? Yes, I can, Dad. If you're asking a child to memorize the Dewey Decimal System or work on numbers on dittos, you better have some bribe available because there's no reason for a member of our species. If you're asking a child to memorize the Dewey Decimal System or to work on numbers on dittos, then you better have some bribe available because there's no reason for any member of our species. Man.
There's no reason any member of our species should find the kind of task.
All right. Take two.
This guy, I swear, this guy.
What is it?
We love you, Dad. All right. If you're asking a child to memorize the Dewey Decimal System or to work on numbers on dittos, you better have some bribe available because there's no reason any member of our species should find that kind of task worthwhile or engaging. The skills and intellectual exploration nested. Damn.
So can you give me a specific state-of-the-art example of exactly what you're talking about right here? Stop that.
Oh, the camera's on.
It's not on you.
It's on.
It's on?
It's in there.
Okay.
Move your head.
There, right there.
So can you give me a specific Okay. We ready?
Yeah.
Mhm.
So are you saying that
I'm not laughing.
Your face right now, we're not filming you.
Well, Paul's on me, aren't you, Paul?
As a wide angle.
Oh, okay, so I can just sit back.
Yeah.
So are you saying it's easier to use rewards than that fight?
Belongs to the wrong side of the ledger. We need to move beyond them if we are to. Now, some people move a little bit beyond this.
So if rewards are out, then what are we supposed to do? Shit. What should we do in kids? Okay. Are you still going?
Yep.
No question about it. Does this look like I'm looking at Dan?
Yeah.
No question about it. And exactly the same is true of how parents reward and punish their kids for behavior at home. A lot of my work turns on the distinction between doing things to kids and working. Oh, fuck. Now, some people move a little bit beyond this.
Hey, we got the positive alternative to punishment, but you seem to put them in the exact same category.
Be real.
Move your head.
There, right there.
So can you give me a specific
My head turning.
Stop it!
Alright.
Ready? Doesn't help if you laugh, cameraman.
Yeah, you gotta stop laughing.
Dude, I can't. All I see is
Many of these parents and teachers think that there's an alternative to rewards is a more democratic family or classroom. This is profoundly threatening to people who need to have others do exactly what they are told. Right?
yeah.
A lot of people who say no rewards, well then what's the alternative? Are just looking for more short-term gimmicks to control behavior. And don't you understand? This is profoundly threatening to people who need others to do what they are told. Let me do that again.
I like that.
Clap his hands.
It's very monkey-like. All right, here we go. Don't you understand? This is profoundly threatening to people who need others to do exactly what they're told to do. This is a big long sentence. Ready?
Yeah.
I think if we look at a deeper reason why the child's not interested. Okay.
Start with the music.
What are you laughing?